This is my Tradescantia Blushing Bride. This giant Tradescantia, this is a blushing bride. That was 6 weeks ago. Here it is today. Yeah, why did this happen? How can I fix it? And can you believe that this is normal? I know. So my Tradescantia Blushing Brides were the plant that I was using in my propagation light experiment. And I use that because I love this plant. It's a very beautiful flowering plant. It gets the conditions just right. It has these beautiful like pale pink flowers that I never actually knew they had until I accidentally got them to blossom. So consequently, I've kept them forever since I found that out. And that picture that you saw in my propagation video was only 6 weeks ago, and it was so bushy, right? Like, well, it was leggy, but it all looked healthy. It didn't have these horrible brown dry spots all over it. The light didn't change. The water routine didn't change. Nothing changed. So why did it do this? Well, basically because I neglected it too much. Not its water, not its light, but the way that it is in the wild. I neglected to consider that. So just a quick run over it. Tradescantias are sprawlers. They like to climb and kind of like vines. They like to cling to things, and that's how they spread and propagate and perpetuate their species. Consequently, all of the energy gets pushed out to the ends of the leaves, whereas all of this stuff dies away because its goal is to perpetuate the species and move out further and further, climbing and sprawling. So when you don't think about that enough and you let it get leggy, it starts to do what it's gonna do. And that means it starts to sprawl in search of new places to propagate. And I mean propagate in the sense of like, you know, branching out, not like clipping it and things like that. You know what I'm trying to say. Not the way we propagate, the way it would naturally propagate. And I talked about this in my 10 things that new plant parents end up doing by mistake. Let's look at this guy. This is a philodendron, and as you can see, he's like crazy. He is the king of this windowsill. But can you spot the problem? He's being neglected. That's my fault. Obviously it's my fault, because he should not have this branch. This branch should have been cut off a while ago. I just never got around to doing it. And this is one of them where you neglect what it was born to do. Now, considering that this means it's therefore healthy, despite what it looks like, is, I know, still hard to believe. What would have made this healthier looking in a more traditional sense is if I had kept it bushy instead of leggy and clipped it more, kept it very tight into the plant pot instead of just letting it kind of do its thing. So now here we are with it. And now I've got to save it in any way that I can because I love this plant. And I'll have multiples of them, but this is one of my early mother plants. And so she has to stick around for a long time. And that's what I'm going to do with her. So what should I do? Is this thing dead? No, it's not dead. Could it die if I don't do something, some intervention? Yeah, it definitely could. And that's why we're gonna chop it up. Now, can I save this guy? Can I save the mother root system? Maybe. Depends on how good the roots are. It's my opinion, probably not, but I don't know. We'll give it a shot and we'll see what happens. So what I'm gonna do is clip off all of these parts and then clip this down to the very like soil level and see if that helps at all. I'm hopeful that I can keep this plant going, but this is my fault, so I have to accept my fate. So first it's time to sterilize, and I'm just using isopropyl alcohol on a rag, Kleenex, it's not a rag. And that is to make sure that I don't introduce any bad stuff into the cuts. And what I'm gonna do is just, I know I'm wearing dark and it's hard to see this. So you can see this is just string. And so consequently, I don't have to really chop very much into fresh stem. I'm just gonna chop off what's left of green stem and propagate all that out. And then once I've got all these clippings, then I will cut this down and then we will check in after a while and see how that goes. Now, if you saw my plant light test, you saw that these Tradescantia do really well in most light situations. Surprisingly, they didn't do that well in my grow light, but my aquarium light and both east and west facing, they were able to develop roots in propagation tubes, which was awesome. I mean, these are really hardy plants that will take clearly a lot of neglect and abuse. That's why this channel is Perfectly Imperfect Plant Care, because I do the best I can. But having ADHD and having a phobia of clipping things back makes it difficult. Are you like that too? Where you're just like, so many people are willing to just hack away at their houseplants and keep them short and bushy, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to hurt it. That's not what it wants to do, but for the greater good, it probably should. One thing I'm doing is making sure that I clip just a smidge of fresh growth off so that it has that sort of raw opening that will make it easier to propagate. Let this be a lesson to you. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, one more. All right, now let's chop all this guy down. Okay, we have successfully, hopefully, cut this down to the very bottom. So I am going to post an update on the mother plant later on, but in the meantime, I'm gonna go propagate these in my next video. It shows you how to propagate stuff. Let's go check it out.